Science and Technology, late 20th and early 21st century, United Kingdom. Develop of the touchpad pointing device, 1989. A touchpad or trackpad is a pointing device featuring a tactile sensor, a specialized surface that can translate the motion and position of a user's fingers to a relative position on the operating system that is made output to the screen. Touchpads are a common feature of laptops computers and opposite to using a mouse on a desktop, and are also used as a substitute for a mouse where desk space is scarce. Because they vary in size, they can also be found on personal digital assistants and some portable media players. Wireless touchpads are also available as detached accessories. In 1998, a touchpad was developed for Psion Company in London, UK. Laptops with touchpads were launched by Olivetti and Triumph Adler in 1992. Cirque introduced the first widely available touchpad branded as Gilde Point in 1994. Apple Inc. introduced touchpads to the modern laptop in the PowerBook series in 1984 using Cirque's GlidePoint technology. Later, PowerBooks and MacBooks would use Apple-developed trackpads. Another early adopter of GlidePoint pointing device was Sharp. Large Synaptics introduced their touchpad into the market branded the touchpad. Epson was an early adopter of this product. World Wide Web, 1991. The World Wide Web, WWW, commonly known as the web, is an information system where documents and other web resources are identified by uniform resource locators, URLs, such as HTTPS example.com, which may be interlinked by hypertext and are accessible over the Internet. The resources of the web are transferred via the Hypertext Transfer Protocol, or HTTP, might be accessed by users by a software application called a web browser, and are published by a software application called a web server. The World Wide Web is not synonymous of the Internet, which pre-existed the web in some form by over 2 decades, and upon whose technologies the web is built. English scientist Tim Berners-Lee invented the World Wide Web in 1998. He wrote the first web browser in 1990, while employed at CERN near Geneva, Switzerland. The browser was released outside CERN to other research institutions starting in January 1991, and then to the general public in August 1991. The World Wide Web has been central to the development of the information age, and is the primary tool billions of people use to interact on the Internet. First DNA Database, 1995. The National DNA Database, NDNAD, holds DNA profiles and samples from a select number of UK individuals. The United Kingdom National DNA Database that was set up in 1995. In 2005, it had 3.1 million profiles, and in 2020, it had 6.6 million profiles, 5.6 million individuals excluding duplicates. 217,000 samples were added to the database in 1920 and 2020, populated by samples recovered from crime scenes and taken from police suspects. 124,000 were deleted from those not charged or not found guilty. They were 731,000 matches of unsolved crimes between 2001 and 2020. Animal cloning, 1996. Dolly was part of a series of experiments at the Rosales Institute that were trying to develop a better method for producing genetically modified livestock. If successful, this would mean fewer animals would need to be used in future experiments. Scientists at Rosales also wanted to learn more about how cells change during development and whether a specialized cell such as skin or brain cell could be used to make a whole new animal. These experiments were carried out at the Roslin Institute, University of Edinburgh in UK, by the team lead Professor Sir Ian Wilmot. Because of the nature of the research, the team was made up of many different people, including scientists, embryologists, surgeons, vets, and farm staff. Dolly was cloned from a cell taken from the mammary gland of a 6-year-old Finn Dorset sheep and an egg cell taken from a Scottish blackface sheep. She was born to her Scottish blackface surrogate mother on 5 July 1966. Dolly's white face was one of the first signs that she was a clone, because if she was genetically related to her surrogate mother, she would have had a black face. Discovery of graphene, 2010. Graphene is an allotrope of carbon consisting of a single layer of atoms arranged in a two-dimensional honeycomb lattice. It is the strongest material known in nature, stronger than structural steel of the same thickness as harder than a diamond, yet its thickness ranges from 1 to 10 carbon atoms, and as it is so fine and only two of its dimensions can be appreciated, it is considered a two-dimensional material, the only one that is capable of remaining stable up to the thickness of an atom. It is elastic and flexible, and is endowed with great thermal and electrical conductivity, which allows it to dissipate heat and withstand strong electrical currents without heating up. It is practical and transparent, water repellent, and so dense that even helium gas cannot pass through it. In addition, it has many other qualities, such as the high mobility of its electrons, a property that increases its potential use in the fast nanodevices of the future. Graphene has incredible mechanical, electronic, chemical, magnetic, and optical properties that have made it one of the most studied nanomaterials today. In addition, being pure carbon, it's abundant in nature and ecological. For all these reasons, graphene promises thousands of applications in very different sectors, and it is believed that it will replace important materials such as silicon in the next decade. The spectrum of possibilities of its application is of such breadth that versatility, and it encouraged a true technological revolution. It was originally observed in electron microscopes in 1962, but only studied while supported on metal surfaces. The material was later rediscovered, isolated, and characterized in 2004 by Andrew Game and Konstantin Novoselov at the University of Manchester, England, UK, who were awarded the Nobel Prize in Physics in 2010 for their research on the material. Analysis and conclusion. I consider that the main aspect of English culture in these inventors and scientists is education, and universities in the United Kingdom and England. By having investment in research programs, it is easier to achieve discoveries and develop technologies that improve the human life and have a global impact. I choose these innovations since they were all made less than 30 years ago, and they are still an essential part of our lives, such as the touchpad in laptops, the web on the internet that helps to find any type of information, the first database of DNA that helps to find criminals, the cloning of the first mammal for DNA research, and perhaps for being an engineer. But personally, the most important is the separation of graphene from graphite, since this will give rise to many new technologies and applications, thanks to this material with properties never before achieved. Bibliography.